Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Carter Center calls for constitutional and electoral reforms, flags bank account closures against win candidates and low voter turnout. APNU slams P.M'S office over constant delays of Wales gas-to-energy project. VPAC'S DORWAIN BESS says opportunism has replaced service in politics. Human Services Ministry successfully hosts Family Support and Wellness Fair at UMANA YANA. And in sport, Hockey Federation, in collaboration with Sports Ministry, set to host Diamond Jubilee Cup Field Hockey Tournament. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Friday 15th May 2026 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We will tell you this evening that the Carter Center has recommended a series of constitutional and electoral reforms in Guyana following its final report on the country's 2025 general and regional elections, while also raising concerns about campaign financing, the voters list, and the structure of the Elections Commission. Travis Chase opens tonight's broadcast.
The Carter Center is urging Guyana to undertake major constitutional and electoral reforms ahead of future elections, saying important gaps remain within the country's electoral system despite improvements made during the 2025 polls. In its final election observation report, the International Observer Mission said reforms should include updated legislation governing campaign financing, the registration and operation of political parties, and broader constitutional changes aimed at strengthening democratic processes. The report noted that campaign financing during the elections lacked transparency and highlighted concerns about political spending and oversight during the campaign period. Chairman of the Carter Center, Jason Carter, said Guyana's rapidly expanding oil revenues make it critical for the country to modernize its campaign finance laws and establish clearer distinctions between political campaigning and state spending. The Carter Center also recommended that an independent audit of the voters list be conducted well in advance of the next elections, noting that concerns about the credibility and accuracy of the list continues to impact public confidence in the electoral process. Additionally, the Observer Mission said the politically divided structure of the Guyana Elections Commission remains a major challenge and recommended reforms to strengthen trust and confidence in the electoral body. The organization also called for the reconstitution of the Constitutional Reform Commission so that it better reflects Guyana's current political reality and places electoral reform high on its agenda. Despite the concerns raised, the Carter Center said election day itself was generally peaceful and orderly, with no major irregularities observed during voting. According to the Carter Center, voter turnout in the 2025 general and regional elections declined by approximately 5% when compared to the 2020 elections, despite an increase in the size of the voters list. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, the Carter Center's final report on Guyana's 2025 general and regional elections has raised concern over the treatment of candidates linked to the We Invest in Nationhood party win, while also pointing to a noticeable decline in voter turnout when compared to the 2020 polls. More details in this report.
According to the final report released by the Carter Center, after the We Invest in Nationhood wins list of candidates was approved in July 2025, 3 local commercial banks reportedly closed the personal account of several candidates, party members, and associates. Some candidates were also reportedly dismissed by private sector employers after their names appeared on the party's list. The Carter Center said it understood the caution showed by banks, given that WIN's presidential candidate Azruddin Mohammed was under United States sanctions. However, the report noted that international standards favor a risk-based approach rather than broad action against persons based only on political association. The center warned that overcompliance with sanctions could discourage citizens from participating fully in political life. In effect, the report suggested that people may become reluctant to run as candidates or publicly support a party if doing so could affect their access to banking services or employment. The issue has placed fresh attention on the balance between financial compliance and political rights, especially in an election where WIN emerged as a major new force. WIN secured 109,075 votes, or 24.9% of the valid ballots cast, and won 16 seats in the National Assembly. The result made WIN the official opposition political party and marked the first time in Guyana's history that neither the PPPC nor the PNCR, or a coalition led by the PNCR, held that position. At the same time, the Carter Center noted that fewer Guyanese voted in 2025 than in 2020. A total of 438,468 valid votes were cast in 2025, compared with 460,352 in 2020. The report said this represented a 5% decline in votes cast, with turnout falling to 58% based on the official list of electors, compared with 72% in 2020, with the steepest decline recorded in District 4, which has traditionally been an opposition support base. The Carter Center said the pattern suggested voter disengagement linked to opposition fragmentation. While WIN attracted many former APNU voters, the report noted that some voters in those districts appeared unwilling to support any party and instead stayed at home. The report concluded that Guyana's 2025 elections showed improvements in election day administration and tabulation, but the issues surrounding WIN candidates and the decline in turnout raise important questions about political participation, voter confidence, and whether citizens feel free and motivated to participate in the electoral process. Marvin Cato, reporting for HGP Nightly News.
On Friday, Ganesh Mahipal, Member of Parliament for the A Partnership for National Unity, did not hesitate to slam the office of the Prime Minister over its repeated failures in the execution of the Wales Gas-to-Energy project. Here is more.
The Prime Minister's office announced that the Wales Gas-to-Energy project is advancing due to resolve contractual issues with Linseka Ghana Incorporated. This includes a January 2025 decision by the Dispute Avoidance Adjudication Board on soil stabilization and delay provisions, eliminating the need for arbitration. Both parties have agreed to forego historical liquidated damages, capped at 10% of the contract price, to expedite project delivery, the statement informed. The overall economics of the gas-to-energy project remains firmly on track. The recent settlement indicates a 12.8% increase over the original contract sum of $759 million. Yet the government's total expenditure for the wider project, including the 300-megawatt power plant, the natural gas liquids facility, transmission works, substations, and the new National Control Center, known as NCC, remains within a 10% contingency of its $1 billion budget. A Partnership for National Unity APNU's Ganesh Mahipal, at his party's weekly media briefing, criticized the office of the Prime Minister for the significant delays associated with the project.
The amount of time they have spoken to that project and made promises to the Guyanese people. We were supposed to get a reduction in our electricity cost by mid-2025, if one remember clearly. And we were waiting for that.
The Member of Parliament and spokesperson on local government and regional development argued that citizens continue to hear promises with no signs of delivery. He advocated for the release of the documents pertaining to the scope of the Wales Gas-to-Energy project, most importantly, its investment plan.
Now we're hearing late 2026. I think the PM should shut up. Honestly, the PM should shut up. And what he should do is focus on the completion, the investment plan. We have been asking them to release those documents. Why are you spending taxpayers' money and you're doing and going into contracts with secrecy?
The GtE planned P.M'S transmission substation project and the NCC at Good for Acting were budgeted at $1 billion, with total costs not expected to exceed $1.1 billion, including contingencies. This budget is expected to reduce consumer electricity tariffs by 50%, benefiting households and businesses in Guyana. Significant on-site progress is being made, with the first power turbine expected online by late 2026 and all gas turbines by early 2027. According to the statement, the government can impose liquidated damages for missed milestones, ensuring effective project management and resource allocation. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Vigilant Political Action Committee's executive member DORWAIN BESS has weighed in on the recent wave of political crossovers, arguing that the movement of politicians from one party to another reflects a deeper culture of self-interest in Guyana's political system. More details in this report.
Speaking during an exclusive interview with Nightly News, BESS said the recent defections did not surprise him, since Guyanese politics has long been marked by what he described as a rotation of the same political behavior. He said too many persons enter politics not to serve citizens, but to secure personal benefits and political opportunities. According to BESS, the issue is not only that individuals have crossed over, but that some of them had previously criticized the same political forces they are now joining. He questioned how people who once described the government as corrupt could now align themselves with that administration without clearly explaining what changed.
What we're seeing today is a rotation, and I can't accuse some of the newcomers, but what Guyana would have seen for as long as we can remember is a rotation of the same style of politics. Politicians that are in it not to serve, but politicians that are in it for their own personal benefit.
He argued that this has become part of Guyana's political culture, where some politicians move toward whichever side appears to offer personal advantage.
Where those guys are today doesn't surprise me because they were never there. And many of them, not including some others you're going to see rotating. I mean, it started with people like James Bond and the gentleman in Linden, what's his name? Figueroa.
BESS said the recent developments also place the People's National Congress Reform, PNCR leader Aubrey Norton, in a difficult position, since many of the departures have occurred under his leadership.
What does this say as a whole about the people that you would have chosen? And the other thing we can't shy away from is the reality that Guyanese would have left to suffer for so long that any opportunity presents themselves today for them to run and try to find a way to start to earn, they forgot what the sole purpose was.
BESS said, when society rewards personal gain over public duty, it is not surprising when more persons enter politics for opportunity rather than principle. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned, we have more news for you.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Krishna Rao Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC, Manripo, East Coast, and Marara, or call 220-9624-629-4021 or 619-7880. At Krishna Roth Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. As we continue, after awarding a $285 million contract in 2021 for the construction of the Cato Secondary School dormitory, the Regional Democratic Council of Region 8 will now oversee a new contractor to complete the project. A Partnership for National Unity's Member of Parliament, Juretta Fernand, says this is testament to incompetence and rampant corruption. Marvin Cato reports.
In an exclusive interview with Nightly News, a Partnership for National Unity's Member of Parliament, Juretta Fernand, said with government now seeking a new contractor for Cato school dorms after collapse of the $285 million contract reeks of incompetence and corruption. She said it was actually questioned in the National Assembly on several occasions with former Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Sonia Parag, very reluctant to commit to providing information on the progress of the project.
The minister actually quoted a figure when she was questioned then in 2024, February of 2024. She said that the project was 65% completed.
Fernand said it is shocking now to see in the 2024 Auditor General's report that no figure was presented. Fernand questioned how the subject minister arrived at the figure.
They're just pulling numbers out of the sky and giving to the people of this country.
In September 2021, Region 8 Regional Executive Officer Peter Ramutar signed a $285 million contract with Riaz Akbar General Construction Services to construct the dormitory. The facility, expected to accommodate some 300 students, was scheduled to be completed within 3 years.
There is no accountability by the government, and they don't wish to see accountability because they want to hide things like this.
The region, in an invitation for bids published in Wednesday's Guyana Chronicle, stated that the completion of the dormitory is estimated to cost $120,730,286. Bids for the project are expected to open on May 20th, 2026 at the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. Fernand pointed out that to date, the Cato dorm project has received over 87% of the project allocation. She said the system of checks and balances is clearly not being utilized, while more than 300 students are left to suffer because the dorm remains incomplete. The Audit Office has since recommended to the head of the budget agency that an assessment of all works be completed and a detailed valuation be conducted, following which a comprehensive evaluation should be done to determine the best option for completing the project. The dormitory was being built to support the $1 billion plus troubled Cato Secondary School, which opened back in 2018, which faced issues of delays and defects after a contract was signed for the school back in 2012. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security on Friday held the Family Support and Wellness Fair at the YANA in Kingston as Family Month is observed. Marvin Cato is on that story.
The purpose of the fair is to explore a range of support services and resources aimed at empowering families, strengthening relationships, and building healthier communities. Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad, during our address to the gathering in celebration of Family Month, said the home provides the first from many things: classroom, clinics, a sanctuary, and as such, they must be stable. She said the strength of our nation lies in our homes, and that strength will always be family, even though it has evolved over the years. Dr. Prasad said there are harsh realities that affect families. However, the ministry, through its services, can provide much-needed assistance to families in need to foster better relationships.
And when families thrive, Guyana will always prosper.
Juanita Peniston, manager of the Family Support Service Unit at the Child Care Protection Agency, said families are the foundation of communities and a healthy society. She reminded that it is within families children learn love, values, resilience, and responsibility.
Families sometimes have challenges, and during those challenges, it's when our relationship as families are strained.
Meanwhile, Cardell Hunt, Victims Advocate Coordinator, said the onus is on families to bond, rebuild, and strengthen no matter the challenges. He said the fair serve as a reminder that strong families are the foundation or very bedrock of strong communities. He said through the collaboration of many participating agencies and partners present, families will have the opportunity to access valuable services, resources, as well as support systems designed to promote resilience, wellness, and healthy relationships.
Our unique walk-through model house was intentionally designed to reflect the many areas of family life.
Hunt reminded that family life requires care, support, communication, and connection. Homes, he said, are strengthened when families are supported, connected, and empowered. The theme for the Wellness Fair is Repair, Rebuild, and Strengthen. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
A blasphemous libel charge against the social media personality Daniel Wharton, popularly known as Baby Skello, was on Friday dismissed by Magistrate Wanda Fortune at the Diamond Magistrates Court after the court ruled that the charge was bad in law. Travis Chase reports.
Daniel Wharton had been charged under Section 3471 of the Criminal Law Offences Act over a TikTok video allegedly containing offensive references involving the Hindu goddess Mother Lakshmi. However, in legal submissions presented by attorney Everton Singh Lamy, the defense argued that the offense of blasphemous libel, as preserved under Guyana's laws and rooted in English common law, applies specifically to Christianity and not to other religions such as Hinduism. The defense relied on several English court rulings, which held that blasphemy laws were historically confined to protecting the Christian religion. Based on those arguments, the court found that the law used by the prosecution could not legally apply to allegations concerning the Hindu religion, making the charge defective. Magistrate Fortune at the Diamond Magistrates Court subsequently dismissed the matter. Baby Skello was represented by attorneys Glenn Hanneman, Everton Singh Lamy, and Angel Stevens. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned. After this break, we have more news for you.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Vons Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Vons Waste Management today at 218-1455.
In Guyana, local suppliers are helping drive a rapidly expanding energy sector. That's why ExxonMobil Guyana invested 146 billion Guyana dollars in 2025 in the local economy, empowering businesses to support oil and gas operations. This impact saw the engagement of over 2,000 Guyanese companies, providing maintenance and technical support, recruitment, security, and a wide range of essential services. This is more than energy. This is empowerment. This is Guyana Rising. Since oil production started offshore, oil and gas companies have been investing in the long-term development of Guyana. To learn more about how local suppliers are shaping Guyana's future, visit www.oilnow.gy for updates.
Welcome back. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Thanks for staying with us. As Guyana celebrates its 60th independence anniversary, HGP Nightly News, in recognition of the nation's cultural and musical heritage, features a dynamic musician and songwriter who continues to make strides in the industry. More details from Antonio Day.
For more than a decade, junior hit known as Mama I Don't Want to Be Born has remained a church anthem in Guyana. Performed by Tennessee De Freitas as a young artist, The song propelled her into the national spotlight and won audiences with her remarkable talent. The young woman who hails from Kurukururu, a village along the Linden Highway, under her new moniker, Nikita, continues to make strides in the music industry. During an exclusive interview with Nightly News, Nikita recounted her musical journey and said that God spoke through her during a worship service on Father's Day.
When I finished that performance, I got a standing ovation in church. And knowing that they clap for you because you're in the church, you're doing something good, they're encouraging you. And to that I got a standing ovation. I felt at that moment like this is something that I was meant to do.
Known for evoking Junior Calypso Monarch song, Mama, the Christchurch alumna gained traction and connected with Birchmore Simon of Cross Color Records. Simon decided to mentor the talented young woman and signed her to the label, making her the youngest member of the Cross Color family. Nikita, now a member of the dynamic Heatwave band, continues to serenade her audiences with her musical style of soca, reggae, and rhythm and blues known as R&B.
And I am still doing the same thing, traveling, making people happy. I started with calypso and a little R&B reggae kind of style. And it wasn't until after the pandemic that I kind of really gravitated towards soca.
Though versatile across several musical styles, Nikita has increasingly embraced soca, a Caribbean genre reflected in vibrant releases such as Right Hey, Jamish, and Vibes Again. Looking ahead, Nikita plans to release her new music, primarily party-themed tracks targeted at Carnival and other celebrations, although none specifically for Independence Day as yet. To young artists struggling for recognition, Nikita offered heartfelt advice.
Invest in yourself, work on yourself, work on developing your craft and being the best at what you want to do. Be yourself.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Guyana, up your cash. Over 100 winners. More than $2.5 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Win cash every week. Plus a chance to up your cash to $500,000. And that's not all. Win back your grocery bill up to $20,000 cash every week. Just grab any Buster Turbo Energy Drink, Fruitopia, Oasis flavored water, Fruita, or Viva Sparkling flavored water. Look for the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana on Facebook or Instagram for details. Up your cash today.
Hey, stop, Peter. I don't feel I don't go away when y'all don't eat me food, Y'all got fair wash your place because I did my nails. When is somebody about there gonna make a nice cake? Is my good cake on upon the same?
Madam, I got a call from the people in the community. And they said you are disturbing the peace. You're smelling up the place and you're doing something, but your food always seems to smell good.
Peace, you get the best on these things.
These things just make you cook good. I want these things and I'll carry down for evidence.
I love all of you.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
And you?
GECOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2026, and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. It is the civic duty and legal responsibility of all Guyanese who meet the eligibility criteria to apply for registration. By so doing, you will be ensuring that you are issued a national identification card and be included in the official list of electors for future elections, provided you meet all eligibility criteria. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at a different address than the one you were registered at. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio D. Here's what you need to know as we turn attention to news coming out of Antigua and Barbuda. The government of Antigua and Barbuda will make Spanish the official second language to enhance regional integration and economic opportunities. Approved by the Cabinet, the Ministry of Education will restructure the curriculum to include Spanish from preschool to secondary school. This decision reflects evolving regional ties and the importance of multilingualism and acknowledges Dominican Republic's influence and community contributions, as well as the broader effort to deepen cultural and economic ties between the two countries. Authorities believe greater Spanish language competency will improve communication and workforce competitiveness while positioning Antigua and Barbuda to engage more effectively with Spanish-speaking nations throughout the hemisphere. Alongside the language policy, the Cabinet approved the launch of the Dominican Republic Integration Program, known as DRIP, which is intended to strengthen cooperation in tourism, education, trade, and investment, while providing additional support systems for Dominican nationals living in Antigua and Barbuda. Still with news in the region, CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett addressed concerns about her second-term appointment on Friday, shortly after Trinidad and Tobago stated it was not on the agenda of last month's summit. After a signing ceremony in Guyana, she referred questions to CARICOM Chairman, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew. Barnett stated, and I quote, "I do not have any concerns, but declined to comment on stepping down." Her reappointment for a second term starting August 2026 was announced in a press release on March 25, 2026, confirming regional leaders' agreement. Trinidad and Tobago's foreign minister noted her appointment was not discussed at the summit from February 24 to 27 of the same year. He noted that Dr. Barnett's reappointment was not discussed at the February 25, 2026 Community Council meeting he attended. Despite concerns about the reappointment process, the foreign minister stated that Trinidad and Tobago is committed to revitalizing CARICOM and ensuring the Secretariat meets regional needs. And finally, international news. United States President Donald Trump left China on Friday with no breakthroughs on trade or tangible help from Beijing to end the Iran war, despite 2 days spent keeping praise on his host, Xi Jinping. The trip, the first by a U.S. president since 2017, aimed to boost Trump's approval ratings before the midterm elections. Behind closed doors, Xi warned Trump about Taiwan, stating he opposed its independence. Trump mentioned he would decide on a pending arms sale to Taiwan after consulting its current leadership. His remarks came after 2 days of restraint, focused on honoring Xi. While Trump searched for immediate business wins, searching as a deal to sell Boeing jets that did not impress investors, the Chinese president talked up a long-term reset and pact to maintain stable trade ties with Washington, underscoring their differing priorities. A U.S. summary of Thursday's talks noted a shared desire to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and Xi's interest in reducing dependence on Middle Eastern oil. That has brought us to the end of Friday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio Day. Thank you for watching, and do have an enjoyable rest of the weekend, and do be safe. Goodbye.
That's now John Delwyn Neblat for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Friday, May 15, 2026. We begin tonight with hockey. The Guyana Hockey Board, in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, are set to host their Diamond Jubilee Cup field hockey tournament from May 23rd to 30th at the National Stadium in Providence. Guyana's top clubs are expected to feature, including Old Fort, Saints, Hikers, and the GCC. The tournament features male and female First Division categories, with action commencing at 9 hours daily. Into tennis, the Guyana Tennis Association, in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, are set to host their 60th Independence Anniversary Open, commencing on Sunday, May 17th at the National Park Courts in Georgetown. The tournament forms part of a 10-discipline festival in honor of Guyana's Diamond Jubilee Independence celebrations and is expected to feature the nation's top players, including Nathan de Nombrega and Zion Hickerson. Moving into bodybuilding, Guyana's national bodybuilding contingent are set to compete in the prestigious IFBB Pro World Cup and Roger Boys Classic from May 16 to 17 at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium in Barbados. Headlined by IFBB World Champion Rosanna Fung, Team Guyana also features 2025's Mr. Guyana Colin Chesney, Sabita Stevenson, Lyndon Burnett, Christopher Anthony, and Weslyn Gonzalez. Moving into cricket, the Guyana Amazon Warriors officially announced their 2026 Republic Bank CPL squad earlier today. Most notably, standout left-arm spinner Gudikish Moti has been traded to the Barbados Tridents, while Kari Pierre, Isaiah Thorne, and Jonathan Van Lang will be joining the Warriors for the first time. Several key players have also been retained, including Shea Hope, Shimron Hetmeyer, Shamar Joseph, and Quinton Sampson. Finally, in cricket, two Guyanese players, Shamar Joseph and Gudikish Moti, have been invited to a West Indies high-performance training camp ahead of the upcoming ODI series against Sri Lanka. The camp features 17 players and is set to run from May 21 to 31st at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua and Barbuda. The 10-day encampment marks the beginning of an intense 18-month period of preparation ahead of the 2026 ICC Men's ODI World Cup, set to be hosted by South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Namibia. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblett, reminding you to stay in the game.
Carter Center calls for constitutional and electoral reforms, flags bank account closures against win candidates, and low voter turnout. APNU slams P.M'S office over constant delays of Wales gas to energy project. VPAC'S BESS says opportunism has replaced service in politics. Human Services Ministry successfully hosts family support and wellness fair at YANA. And in sport, Hockey Federation, in collaboration with Sports Ministry, set to host Diamond Jubilee Cup Field Hockey Tournament. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.